Greetings, everyone. Today, as we continue our worship series called Followers of the Way, we are talking about being followers who act with compassion, who show God's love by taking care of others who are in need. And so I'm going to read our story first, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it a little bit. Let me pull up our story for today. A very appropriate story for the cold temperatures that we're having, The Mitten Tree, written by Candace Christensen, illustrated by Elaine. At the end of a long lane, in a tidy little house, old Sarah lived alone. Her children had grown up and moved away, but Sarah still remembered the mornings when she walked with them to the blue spruce tree where they waited for the school bus. Now each morning she opened her shutters and watched for new children to arrive. Every chilly morning, Sarah pulled on her warm coat and started down the lane. As she walked past the children on her way to the mailbox, she wished they would smile or wave, but they never did. The children didn't even seem to notice her. Still, when she saw them, she couldn't help but smile. One winter morning, after the first snow had fallen, all the children were making snowmen and throwing snowballs, all except for one little boy in a blue cap and coat. Even his boots were a dark shade of blue. He stood away from the others, with his hands sunk deep in his pockets. When the school bus arrived, he lingered behind and was last in line. As Sarah watched the little boy climb into the bus, she could see one thing. He had no mittens. All that day, Sarah couldn't stop worrying about the little boy with no mittens. Late in the afternoon, as the sky grew dark, Sarah dug through the basket of yarn scraps she had saved for many years. She found her needles and 4 shades of blue wool. Then Sarah began to knit. Sarah worked late into the night. When the sun began to rise, she hurried to the bus stop and hung the mittens on the old blue spruce tree. From behind the hedge, Sarah watched. The little boy was the first to arrive. He saw the mittens. He reached up and tried them on. They fit. With a big smile, he made a perfect snowball and threw it high into the winter sky. Soon, a little girl in a red coat arrived. Her mittens didn't match. That night, Sarah knitted with red yarn. Every day now, as Sarah went to the mailbox, she watched for children without mittens. Then she would hurry home and knit. Early in the morning, she would hang the new mittens on the tree. The children loved the game. Each day, they would search under every branch and bough for another pair of mittens. Once or twice, Sarah thought that the boy with the blue mittens had seen her, but he always looked away. Night after night, Sarah knitted mittens in every color. Some had stripes, some had hearts, some even had little snowflakes all over them. Somehow, even though she had never spoken to the children, Sarah felt that they had become her family. On the last day before winter vacation, Sarah awakened before dawn. She took the empty basket that had once held her yarn and filled it to the brim with mittens. Out the door and down the steps she headed. When she got to the blue spruce tree, she hung mittens on every branch. The boy with the blue mittens was the first to arrive. He stood very still and waited for the others. In fact, all the children stood very still for a few minutes, looking at the mysterious, beautiful Mitten Tree. When they boarded the bus, Each child wore a new pair of mittens. Sarah watched as one by one their faces appeared in the bus windows. Still, no one looked her way as she started home. But Sarah's heart was full. It was as full as when the sounds of her own children had filled her house. As Sarah neared her porch and climbed the steps, she saw something waiting for her. There in the corner was a basket woven with thick brown vines and decorated with a large white bow. In it were balls and balls of beautiful, colorful yarn. To this day, Sarah knits mittens for all the children in her town. Every time her basket is empty, a new full one appears. Sarah doesn't know who the yarn is from. The children still don't know who the mittens are from. But someone must. Isn't that a great story? It is very important to show how thankful you are when someone has done something for you, or when you see that people are reaching out and taking care of others. It's always wonderful to show that you are thankful and to encourage them to continue going and to learn about the ways in which people are giving. But being thanked is not why we help others. We are called to love the world, to love everyone, and especially to take care of those who are in need, even if no one ever knows what we do, like with Sarah, or especially like the person who delivers those baskets of yarn balls. She never knows who it is, and it's not important that she knows. It's just important that they're working together to take care of children and make sure their hands are warm and that they are healthy for the winter. The church does many things to reach out to the community to help others. We support the kitchen cupboard, where people can go if they don't have money for groceries and they can get boxes of food items to help take care of themselves and their families. We help those who are homeless in our community through an organization called St. John's Community Services. We help people who are new to our country, who've come from really hard places and had to flee for their lives, immigrants, refugees. We help them find safe places to be, and we help take care of them through the Ithaca Sanctuary Alliance, which is a group of faith communities that work together. There's a hot meal program in town called Loaves and Fishes that many churches help. Catholic Charities is an organization run by the Catholic Church, but in partnership with so many others to help in all kinds of ways, helping with rent, helping with car repairs, helping with heating, and all kinds of things. And then there's something called the Tompkins County Community Mutual Aid, which has these beautiful blue cupboards all over the neighborhoods in Ithaca, where people can put all kinds of food items and toilet paper and deodorant and toothbrushes and toothpaste, whatever people might need that they can't afford to buy for themselves. These are all the ways in which we are called to act with compassion, to act with love in taking care of others. So let us have our prayer together today. Repeat after me. Loving God, fill my heart with your love. Fill my heart with your love. Open my eyes to see. Open my eyes to see where I can help, where I can help. Guide all of us to be your hands, of love, Amen. Let us find ways to act with love, to act with compassion this week. Amen. Have a great week.